Good morning, everyone. I'm Phương Pham. Welcome back to the course Food Waste Management. Today, we will conclude the first module food waste identification, quantification, and measurement with the lesson of method of food waste quantification. In this lesson, I will show you the common methods of food waste quantification, advantage and limitation of each method, and the application of this method in real-life example. Food waste quantification method can be grouped into four main categories. In the first category, direct measurement, the method involves physically observing and measuring waste, offering the most accurate data. The quantification result you obtain is the primary data. And these methods are commonly used in food production, food service, and even household. In second category, record-based method. This method rely on existing company data, so it depends on data quality. If you have accurate data, you should also have accurate quantification result. Self-reporting method. From the name, maybe you can already intuit that this method rely on participants to report their own waste. So it's very subjective because it relies heavily on the commitment and the honesty of participants. When you don't have direct data, you can use modeling and estimation method, which use statistical tool or proxy indicator to estimate waste at large scale like region or even the whole country. We start with the first category, direct measurement. In direct weighing, food waste is weighed with a scale and recorded over a defined period. This method is very simple and is high accuracy, and it can also give you the detail of waste category if you sort the waste before the weighing. However, it is labor intensive. It can miss hidden or liquid waste, and it also requires equipment. At household level, you will need only a kitchen scale, but at food production plant or food service like canteen or restaurant, maybe you need a scale with higher capacity like the one in the photo. For example, a canteen weighs and serve food daily. Results show an average of 15 kilograms of waste per day. When direct weighing is not feasible, you can opt for assessing volume. Here, waste volume is recorded using container unknown sign. Then, depending on the kind of waste, you can leave it at volume unit or you can convert it to weight using density estimates. This method is also very simple and fast, and it doesn't require any weighing equipment. However, it has lower accuracy and it depends on density data. For example, a cheese production plant uses 80-liter container to estimate the waste. A production day generates an average of 2 containers of waste. So if you have 2 full containers, you have a total of 160 liters of waste, which is equivalent to 190 kilograms, applying appropriate density factor. Counting is another very simple method of this category. Here, the number of discarded items is recorded and multiplied by average weight or volume. This method is simple and low cost and is particularly suitable for the food that is stored in separated units. However, it is not suitable for mixed or partially consumed waste. For example, a bakery counts 28 unsold units out of 250 produced units. In waste composition analysis, representative samples are sorted and weighted by category to identify waste composition. For mixed waste, you can separate them into different categories like vegetable, meat, fish, and dairy. This method can give you detailed insight into waste type and it helps prioritize action. However, it is labor intensive and it requires safety precaution and staff training in order to carry out the analysis in correct way. For example, a retail store collects a sample of waste to perform waste composition analysis. The results show that waste consists of 33% vegetable, 25% fruit, 15% meat, 10% seafood, 10% dairy, and the last 7% are the waste that cannot be categorized. Now we pass to the second category, record-based method. In record methods, waste is estimated using production, inventory, sale, and disposal record. The advantage are this method is low cost and it doesn't require additional efforts because you already have all the record on the data, and it is good for determination of long-term trends. However, the accuracy depends on record quality, and unrecorded loss or small loss may be missed. For example, the record from an ice cream production plant show a total of 5,000 produced units, while only 4,850 units were actually accepted by wholesaler. So here there's a loss of 150 units of ice cream. Mass balance is a derivation of record method. Waste is calculated by using the formula waste equal to input minus the sum of output, byproduct, and stock chain. In the photo, you can see an illustration of a very simple process with its input and two outputs. In real life, it's really very much more complicated. This method is objective and is also able to capture hidden loss, but it requires accurate input and output data, and also it doesn't identify exactly where are the loss points. For example, a plant receives 5,000 kilograms of raw material. The output are 4,400 kilograms of sliced fruit and 400 kilograms of byproduct. According to the mass balance, the total weight of waste during the whole process is 200 kilograms. In the third category, in the diary method, the participant record waste item and the reason of waste during a certain period. It could be a daily basis, monthly basis, or weekly basis. This method can review behavioral costs, raise awareness because during the record, the participant can reflect on why they are wasting and what they are wasting. However, it also has limitations like omission risk and the data accuracy depends a lot on the commitment and the honesty of the participant. They may forget to record a loss, a waste, or they intentionally leave it out of the diary. For example, a family of three report a total of 2 kilograms of food waste per week, mainly consisting of rotten fruit and vegetable, which resulted from overpurchasing habit. In surveys method, questionnaire or interview gather information on waste habit, cause and perception. This method is very suitable for large sample because it can gather information in a relatively short time and is very useful for policy and awareness study. But the quantification result can be subjective and is difficult to verify accuracy. For example, a regional survey reveals that 70% of households generate food waste on weekly basis, with family producing more food waste than single person. So you can see a pattern here. A family produce more food waste because usually the large family have a habit of overpurchasing, while single persons have tendency of buying only what they really need. When direct data are not available, you can use modeling and estimation method. In particular, in modeling method, this method uses mathematical model and statistical data to estimate waste or predict trends. This method is good for large-scale assessment, low cost, and is useful for scenario analysis, but it requires expertise and the accuracy of the data depend on the assumption. Because during the building of mathematical model, you need the statistical data and also maybe simplification and assumption. For example, using data collected from surveys, statistical modeling was applied to estimate the weekly volume of food waste produced by population of the world city. In proxy data method, this method uses external benchmark studies or conversion ratio to estimate waste when direct data are lacking. This method is quick and low cost and is helpful when the data available is extremely low. However, they have limitations like low accuracy. The margin of error is quite large and it cannot identify specific causes. For example, a developing country use FAO data to estimate national loss, so the country can know what are the total estimated loss, but they likely don't know what are exactly the cause without further analysis or research. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Today we have concluded the first module. And in the next lesson, we will start the second module, which is about the food waste prevention and minimization. Have a nice day and see you next time.